We boarded the ship at the London cruise terminal, Tilbury. This is the Columbus, which will be our home for the next 11 days for a trip around the British Isles. Our first day was at sea, sailing northwards along the east coast of Britain. The first port of call is Kirkwall, Orkney's capital. Narrow winding streets lead up to the magnificent St Magnus Cathedral. Further up a slight incline are the ruins of the Earl's Palace, built around 1601 to 1606 by Patrick Stewart, Earl of Orkney. Next stop, Invergordon, Scotland, with its deep water docking area making it ideal for building and storing oil rigs from the North Sea. From the ship there were excursions, Loch Ness, Inverness and a few more, all very expensive. Portree. This attractive town is the capital and the largest town on the Isle of Skye. Dramatic cliffs fringe its picturesque harbour. There are a great variety of shops, pubs and restaurants. The town square is used as a meeting place, drop-off and pick-up point for the many coach tours. From this tower on the cliffs overlooking the harbour, the Old Man of Storr can be seen. Legends surround this area about a giant who was buried in the earth with his thumb sticking out, forming the small pinnacle. It's a tender again at Tobermory, the main town of the Isle of Mull. The main street with its brightly coloured buildings encircles the harbour. Not much to see, but near the end of the town there is this sign, Lighthouse 2 kilometres. It's a most enjoyable walk. Across the Irish Sea to Belfast, Northern Ireland. The Giant's Causeway, Northern Ireland's first UNESCO heritage site, is a geological wonder and home to a wealth of history and legend. Dunluce Castle, it's just a photo stop. This is the Carrick-a-Reed rope bridge, viewed from half a mile away. Welcome to Belfast City, to see where Northern Ireland's The Troubles took place. The Battle of Britain mural, you can see where it's been burned. There are many more murals, both Catholic and Protestant. Shankill Road, the two pairs of gates are still shut every night at 6 p.m. Falls Road, the Peace Wall, 40 feet high, it's left in place as a tourist attraction. The mural on the end of a building along the Falls Road is of Bobby Sands. He was 27 years of age when he lost his life during the 1981 hunger strike, protesting the end of political prisoner status for IRA prisoners. The tour continues to Dublin, the capital of Ireland. The River Liffey flows through the centre. The old town is well worth a visit. It's full of pubs, eating places and tourists. The Wall of Fame, dedicated to Irish rock and roll. The next stop was Cork, and the heavens opened. The only dry place to be found was a covered market called the English Market. Next port of call, St Mary's, which is the largest of the 5 islands that make up the Isles of Scilly. To get ashore, the ship's passengers were obliged to be ferried by St Mary's small boats. Pubs were few, as were food outlets. Still, there's plenty to be had on board ship. It's well worth the climb to the Star Castle Hotel, the highest part of St Mary's, for the panoramic views. Viewed from the ship, this picturesque view of the capital of Guernsey, St Peter Port, is stunning. Once again, the only way to get ashore is by tender. Keeping away from the crowds, Candy Gardens is a good place to relax and take in the views. Castle Cornet, also known as Cornet Rock. Its importance was as a defence not only of the island, but it also became part of one of the breakwaters of St Peter's Port Harbour. Something different, a visit to the 4 bathing pools set into the rocky shore, built in 1844 to compensate for the loss of beaches caused by the expansion of the harbour. The final port of call is Honfleur France. Once ashore, St Leonard's Church in this tree-lined square is well worth a visit. After the church, make your way down through winding streets to the old harbour. Several of the narrow buildings have been turned into waterside restaurants for the many tourists. St Catherine's Catholic Church is the largest made of wood in France. The bell tower is separate from the principal building. There is plenty to be enjoyed by all age groups. On the trip back to Tilbury, the catering staff showed their skill with this display of decorated food and ice.